Hey, Zach, the offensive line probably played their best game of the season yesterday. What were your thoughts on their performance?
I thought they did a nice job, and again, I just thought that all 11 guys were in sync, particularly in offense. That helped the run game, helped the protections, help all that stuff. Um, the one sack that we did give up was the last pass of the game where Joe was instructed to take that sack to run the clock. So, I just thought those guys had practiced well all week, and it was good to see them play the way they played.
Alex Redmond obviously got his first start this season. How did he affect the things you wanted to do up front?
He fit in well. He had good chemistry there with Trey and with Bobby, and brought a physicality there. And again, it wasn't perfect, and I think he'd be the first one to tell you that. But there were some things that he did a nice job of.
Coach, from your vantage point, was there a significant difference in practice last week versus maybe the week before? Did you think that really contributed?
I wouldn't say a significant difference. I think the guys have done a nice job practicing all year, and it's why we've been tight in these games. And this is the first one that we pulled out, but just guys, we've really been talking about the details and the little extra things that we got to do to put ourselves over the top, and just thought that from that standpoint, it was better. Had great energy. There's been a lot more competition. We're just trying to get some ways to drive the competition up during practice, and guys have responded the right way.
Zach, just quick injury updates on Geno Atkins and Mike Daniels. What happened to Mike? That seems like a new injury. And then what do you expect out of Geno this week?
Yeah, Mike, that was a new injury on whatever that was, Thursday or Friday, whatever that day was. So again, he's on IR, able to return after 3 games. So that's really where it stands with him. And then everybody else is progressing nicely with the chance to play this Sunday. So again, I'll probably have more as we get to practice on Wednesday, but right now, everyone that's not on IR will have a chance to play.
With respect to the interior defensive lineman, the defensive tackle issues you talked about, how did the guys play that were available to you? How did they show up?
Yeah, there were some good things there, and overall on defense, really most of the yardage and 6 of the points came in those 2-minute drives that we've talked about a lot that we got to clean up. So I thought those guys gave great effort up there. A lot of those guys aren't used to playing that many snaps, and they held up pretty nicely.
Zach, how did you feel watching the movies from this game? Did you yourself even have anything approaching, for lack of a better term, a holy crap moment of, wow, we really look great on this particular series or possession or play?
There was a few plays that were similar to last week, scheme-wise, maybe just a tweak here or there, were some of the corrections that we made on the details of the technique. It was awesome. Guys throwing downfield, from the offensive line perspective, TB, Ethan Carter blocking people way down the field. Just some of the things that we really walked away last week feeling like we left a lot of yards on the field. Seeing guys clean that up to a man, all 11 guys in the same play. It was that part was really exciting to see, and it led to a lot of big production there by Joe. So I can't say that it was a series necessarily. There were several plays that I could point to in the game that really stood out. The last one maybe being the toss play there at the very end, with Joe down the left sidelines where he cut back inside and got us down to whatever yard line it was. That would be one of the ones that stood out there.
Zach, how did it feel leaving the stadium and driving home last night for you?
Yeah, better than it had, and I went to my son's soccer game last night. I got a chance to get out of here and actually go watch my kid play sports for the first time. So, it's good, but it was expected. This is how we've expected to end every Sunday so far. And so it was just the first time it ended the way that we had expected it to. So, it wasn't like last year, getting those wins last year. This year's different. Our expectations are different. We expect to end our games this way.
It's funny, Zach, and to follow up on that, I was asking several of the players before you came in just what it felt like today, and no one really kind of seemed like they were throwing a party or overly excited. Does that surprise you, or is that kind of the natural growth of this team since you guys have taken over now, that wins aren't celebrated the way they used to be?
Yeah, right. It's the expectation. It's not a surprise. It's expectation. Again, it's just finally finishing a game the right way. But again, it's not. Yeah, you're not seeing big celebrations in the locker room. That's not what we're about right now. We're about going out there and winning football games. And we know that we got a big divisional game this week. It starts in our division. We haven't been good enough in that area. If that's the goal setting up the season, you got to win the division. That puts you in a position to play in the playoffs. That puts you in a position to go compete for a championship, all those things. So we know how important these games are.
Like, is there something you can do to get AJ on track? Is there something he can do to get himself untracked a little bit?
That's not a concern for us or AJ. AJ is doing the right things. And we got a lot of really good receivers. We got tight ends that can get targets, backs that can get targets. There's times where AJ is open and the ball's going elsewhere for explosive plays. And I think that's the key to our success, is not forcing the ball to any weapon. Just let it play out naturally. His attitude's unbelievable. You watch that 3rd and 1 tight zone run to Mixon for the touchdown. You just watch his energy there. It was in the 3rd quarter, and at that point he'd had 1 catch. And just to see his celebration, the way he responded when his teammates made a big play, just says everything you need to know about AJ. And his time will come. There's going to be moments where he has unbelievable games, and he's going to help us win here. And it's tremendous to have that guy as a captain and part of this offense and this team.
Zach, Joe last night talked about I guess before the night before every game, you and him go over kind of what he likes best in each scenario, or rank them 1, 2, 3. Talk us through that process. I mean, is that done over Zoom now? Do you do that in person? I mean, what's that meeting like with him the night before game?
Yeah, it's in hotels. It's in the office where we meet on Saturday nights. We have team meetings every Saturday night, so that's not unusual. It's just a quarterback, coordinator, head coach meeting. We just go back through the call sheet. Done it for the last 10 years everywhere I've been, and just get feedback from the quarterbacks. And at that point, the plan's in. What matters is what is he comfortable with, and so it helps me as you call the game the next day. There might be a play that I love that he doesn't like, and there might be a play he loves that I didn't really think I liked during the week, and just helps us get that final piece of the puzzle, make sure we're all on the same page. And because there's some critical situations where sometimes you need to know what the quarterback believes in and loves. And even if it's not a great scheme against what they're doing, if the guy believes in it, oftentimes they make the play come to life, and that's important.
Is there one yesterday that you maybe didn't love that he did that worked out pretty well for y'all?
No, I wouldn't say that there was anything I didn't love. I think there's, some I don't want to give it. There were some completions there that he had where he had brought up the night before that, we felt like we had a lot of good stuff in the plan. He pointed out 1 or 2 that I tried to get called a little earlier than I probably would have.
Coach, you talked about Joe's game management, and rookies tend to want to get a little greedy at the end of the game, but he was so smart about just getting down, not even creating an opportunity for a mistake. Talk about how you felt about how he handled that.
Yeah, he understands the situations. That's something we try to hit on as much as we can. But again, a lot of that's going to come with the experience or just playing years in the NFL. As smart as he is and as educated he is in the game of football, there's going to be situations pop up that sometimes you just have to experience once to really let it set in. But I thought he did a nice job managing the clock there at the end of the game. I think we got the ball back with 6:30 left. Gave it to him back with 1:50, up 11. We were 1 second off there from the 2-minute warning on the naked that we ran, and he got down, and we were 1 second off really from plugging off another 40 seconds. They kind of got a bonus time out there. He did the best he could, but he's really situational aware and did a good job handling that stuff.
Coach, when you watch AJ Green on film, does he look like the same player that he's been for the past decade?
Oh yeah. He's he comes off the ball, and you can see the respect that he gets from the DBs. And again, there's opportunities there where you call the ball thinking it might go there, number 1, and all of a sudden it pops off somewhere else for a big gain somewhere else. So again, I'm not gonna second guess those decisions.
How important was that win?
And all the other fans, were they happy with that?
Oh, I just got 2 questions. I'll go with Bill, and then I'll come back to Paul. Go ahead, Bill. Sorry,
Doc. Go ahead, Doc. You're the veteran.
Compared to you, how important was that win for you and your coaching staff in terms of validating what you've been preaching here for the last year and whatever it's been?
We don't worry about the validation part of things. It's just the players and the coaches need to feel the win. We work hard. We feel like we're doing the right things. The players are doing the things we ask, and you need that reward. You've worked for 9 months to get ready for the season, and it needs to pay off in the win column. And so, again, we don't worry about the validation or anything like that. It's more just the players feeling what it feels like to win, and that expectation has got to be there for us every single week, and it is. And, this is just the first step in the right direction.
What went into your decision to have Josh Bynes speak to the team?
Sorry, Dan, let me come back because I know Bill Dennison was getting cut off there in the last one. So let me hit
I just wanted to check, Coach, with your soccer game yesterday after the game, were the parents pretty happy to see you? I mean, was there a vibe there that, hey, they got your first win?
It was a little chilly, so I think the parents maybe dwindled a little bit there for that game. I got my mask on, my hat on. It's about my son. It's not about me. But he did have the game-winning goal, though, so I was happy I got to see it. So go ahead, Dan. Sorry about that.
Pacelli is a powerhouse, never been disputed. What went into the decision to have Josh Bynes address the team, and what did you think of his speech?
I thought he did a tremendous job, and that's what we expected. We just got a lot of different voices on this team, players and coaches that can have an impact on the guys, and given motivational speeches isn't something I don't necessarily have 20 of them every season, so. You call on different guys in different moments, and I thought Josh was the right guy to start with. He's, like he said, he's in his 10th year as an undrafted free agent. He's not supposed to be here, in his words. And he's got a lot of experience as a national champion, as a Super Bowl champion. He's played on a little different teams, good teams, bad teams. So his experience there is critical for us. And again, he did a really nice job.
2 more minutes with Coach, guys.
We've seen T. Higgins kind of, more involved, obviously, in recent weeks. But the one thing that maybe was the signature coming out of school was the contested catches deep down the field. He hasn't been able to quite get those yet. Is there a different thing at this level to pulling those type of plays off? And what is the biggest key, you think, for him taking that step in his game right now?
Yeah, it's something we really emphasize with all of our guys because we've had a lot of those situations just across the board lately. And so as we'll continue to emphasize it, those DBs are really good with their late hands. They feel the eyes pop back. That's maybe a little bit different than college, and they get their hands right there in the middle. And now you're going to have to pull that catch through their hands. And so, again, we'll continue to detail with the guys, and we'll get better.
Zach, your defense looked better yesterday in the first couple of weeks. How much of with all due respect to Jacksonville, how much of a measuring stick is going up against a guy like Lamar, who was just the MVP, and what that offense can do this week?
Yeah, they got Pro Bowlers across the board, and they've had tremendous success over the last couple of years. And so, it's a great opportunity for our guys. And so again, they're up for the challenge. They're ready for it. But Baltimore obviously is a tremendous football team.
We've seen a few kind of late hits on Burrow that haven't gotten flags in the last few recent weeks. I'm curious if that's something you expect with a rookie quarterback that needs to earn that, or is that just kind of feel like an annoying oversight?
It's a great question, Paul. We're trying to see what we can do there. It's a good question.
With respect to that, everybody come out of the game pretty healthy, Coach, injury-wise?
We did. All things considered, there's a couple of nicks and bruises there, but I thought that we came out really healthy.
One last question.
To AJ Green, I don't know. I guess analogy would be a pitcher maybe loses a little off his fastball and has to learn how to, be more of a crafty pitcher. Is there a point where he or maybe even you needs to look at him being a different type of receiver?
We're trying to do what's best for all of our receivers, not just AJ. Find the strengths because we got a lot of guys there that can make plays. They don't all have to do everything necessarily. And so that's not just AJ, that's everybody. But again, he's done a tremendous job practicing and the energy he brings to the group, and his day's coming, so he's just staying focused.